Welcome to Men on the Internet. This is a show created by men, watched by just anybody who's watching.
Yeah.
It's a show about life, liberty, the pursuit of cash, money.
That's facts.
I like the little remix right there.
I have money once.
Doge to the moon.
Doge to the moon.
And happiness. A show where men get to give men's takes. And every once in a while, maybe somebody else's take as well. So my name is Kelby, also known as Kerbin Johnston. Over there we have
Sunil,
also known as
Sunil.
Word. No, that went crazy. No, that was crazy. That was crazy. And then behind the boards we have Horace.
The mystery
What's
man.
going on?
The chief.
Stop. Don't give me that position. I'm not qualified.
You don't want to be the chief of
What's
immigration?
going on
There's
at
too
the
much
border, Chris?
responsibility. That's
What is
exactly
going
why.
on at the border, Chris?
That's exactly why I don't want to
He's
be
the chief of immigration.
I'm not chief of immigration. Don't call me.
The chief of Conganos Media.
There it is.
Janus.
Okay, the pizza factory. That's how I see it.
I'm gonna laugh. You gonna see a giant pizzeria
Yeah,
downtown.
I'm telling you, and then you better give me my money.
Called a
If you did make pizza, Chris, what style would it be?
You gotta
Chicago, deep dish, thin, New York style.
I like New York style. I like big fat slices.
I am.
And
Fat
you gotta have
that is
some
not a PC
jalapenos
word.
on them.
What is a jalapeno?
Jalapeno.
Oh, okay. And then we have our expert editor, RD, Miss Ronnie, over there going crazy. So, everybody, thanks for coming to the show. Appreciate you for being here. This week, I was on YouTube, and I came across this ad for like an Indian lover website, like an Indian Tinder.
Like which Indian? Like me Indian?
Yeah, like how Indians meet each other.
Here we go.
And I sent it to Sunil.
Oh.
When?
The other day.
He didn't get it.
Oh, really? No, don't worry. I got it right here.
What's it called?
I don't even remember.
Is it called Dill Mill?
Dill Mill? That sounds bad. This wasn't it.
Is it called Shadi.com?
Shadi?
Shadi. That means wedding.
Oh, you trying to get married? It's called Jivan Sathi.
Jivan Sathi?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's that mean, Sunil?
That's it right there. I said, found this. You're welcome.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't click it.
Oh. What does it mean? You don't know what it means?
Jivan Sathi.
No.
It means Jivan means like love.
Ooh.
There you go. Love.
Press the button, Chris.
Any button?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's it. Okay, so the website said, love is looking for you. Be found. Register for free. There's 2 people on there who look like they have high net worth.
Hey, man.
So that's how I knew this was not the website for me. It says, bring people together. It is 100% manually screened profiles and the verifications by personal visit and control over privacy. So, Jivan Sathi. We are going to put Sunil on the website.
Wow.
Who paying?
I'll pay for it.
It said it's free.
Wow.
That's why I would.
Kilby knew immediately. I'll pay for this.
What you
I'll
mean?
pay for it.
I'll pay for it.
Hey, you know when he jumped on it that quick, it was for free.
I'll pay for it. Wait, it's free.
This one's on me. He's like the dude. He's like the dude at the all you could drink place. That's like, yo, drinks are on me.
Drinks on
I mean,
me.
like, he's that guy.
Water's all around.
I put that on the rocks for my guy.
Nah, don't even worry about it, Playboy. I'll put my car right up in there. Get you a little Jivan Sathi,
Oh
huh?
my God.
All right, so Jivan Sathi, we're gonna test it out. See if Sunil can find a lovely lady or fella. I don't know how he rocks. But check. We'll check.
Yo,
How you making these doing?
That's facts.
they are swag surfer knees.
Oh, okay, got it. I was just checking. And then see how well it does. Do you think I can be on that website?
I think you'd crush on that website.
I'll go crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, but imagine they want to like instead of fly you to like somewhere, say like Atlanta, they want to fly you to somewhere like India. What you gonna
Ain't nobody
do?
flying to India right now.
I was about to
nobody
say.
flying
I
to
don't know
India.
if that's a spot
Well,
for me.
no, but like later on.
Damn, would I go to India to meet old girl's family?
Mm-hmm. You know
there's
the
a lot
weddings
of
are big too.
Indians in the Caribbean.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's
there's,
true, too.
There's West Indians.
Yeah, a lot. They're called coolies.
My boy James was a West Indian. His skin was beautiful. He had like beautiful hair, eyebrow. Like his hair, it was like he was bathed in oil.
My dude, I don't know how I feel about you using the word beautiful.
No, he was a beautiful guy.
Call it like
man.
you see it, man.
No, he really
support you.
was. Like that was our good friend
Is
James.
or was?
He was. He passed away.
Oh,
He got
R.I.P.
he died in a car accident. We're still not sure how it happened, but we were at school and we had this teacher who was a lesbian, but she was like enamored by him. Like she would just be like, "Look, James." She'd just be like, "Look, James, you flipping me around," and I would just be like, "Dang, girl, like, what about me?"
Look over here.
She would just always be like, "You so milky, creamy, and just ugh." And I was like, "Are you sure you like girls only?" Like, oh no.
When did it get like status symbol to have a teacher be attracted to you? You think that starts in what grade did that start in?
Definitely fourth.
4th grade?
Dang, bro.
If Miss Nategi Braun is
Yeah.
watching right now,
I had this Spanish teacher. In high school. Her name was Mrs. Zamora.
oh yeah,
And I remember because like we used to do like roll call back in high school, right? And so like they'd be saying our name and it was like, you know, Gaiton de Senil, and you'd be like, Aki, right? And
I definitely had that key.
and then she like before she went on to the next name, she's like, Senil, I had a dream about you last night, and it was just you and me, and nobody else was in this classroom, and I was just like embarrassed. Like everybody was like, oh, and I was just like, oh my God, Ms. Amore, why couldn't you just keep that to yourself?
Why
Was she
did she gotta,
fine?
she was shooting a shot, man. If I was you, put the bulletproof vest on and take him.
Yo,
Was she fine?
Was she fine?
no.
Oh, well then that's the problem. If Mr. Mall told me he had a dream of it, yo, shut up, man.
Damn, that's crazy.
But if Miss Nategi Braun,
Hey.
back in my 3rd or 4th grade teacher, I remember the grade now. I remember.
Now I don't know.
I don't know, but I remember I used to draw pictures of her on my test.
Wow.
I used to get upset. I was like,
creep.
why you give me a B minus? The
do
picture
this
not
for
nice.
you.
Should I have drawn you with clothes on?
Yes, you should have. That was a red flag.
Yeah, that was a problem. She never called my mom or nothing. That's how I knew she kind of liked it. And she used to tell us like, you know, I'm getting married. I was like, oh, that's crazy. You should probably not do that.
Yeah.
That's why she used to be our teacher, Miss Nategi, but then she became Miss Nategi Braun. And then I said to her one time, I was like, this is an actual child. I was like, you don't take that guy serious. She was like, what? She was like, what? I was like, the average person would just take their last name, but you are keeping your old last name and a new last name. You ain't taking that serious because at any point in time, you could just throw that old last name off and be Miss Nategi again. And she was like, man, go back to your seat.
You said this as a 4th grader.
Yes.
I don't believe
I
any
was
of this story.
obsessed with her.
I don't believe none of that story.
I was obsessed with her. I used to draw pictures of her, like, yeah, real bad, like all over every test, everything. And she never said anything. She would just like put smiley faces next to the like ones where she was clothed. But that was like,
That's a good call.
Yo, my first crush that I could remember was my 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Womack.
that sounded hard right there. What was she?
Like ethnicity wise?
Yeah.
Guess.
Ah! She was probably related to Bobby Womack.
Any relation at all? Cousin?
Good woman.
She was a godly woman.
Oh man, you know when they godly, they built nice. Yeah, that was the first Megan.
And that's how like I go back and I'm like, this explains so much about my life.
So wait a second, man. You telling you're not gonna be on juststory.com?
Yeah, I'll be on it.
You already forgot the name.
Yo, it's a different language.
Jivan Sati.
He said, "Jump, sorry."
I was like, Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
Like, that don't sound like a site
You
I
ain't
want to
gonna
be
go on
on.
jellybean.com? That's
my bad,
crazy.
no, my bad, man. All right. Let's get into something. All right, so we was just talking about something in the car. What was it?
We were talking about a few things. What do you want to start with?
Let's start with Stephen Harvey.
Uh-oh.
Steve Harvey, the man who said the wrong name at some event. So,
He sure did.
Stephen Harvey said, men cannot be friends with women. Men cannot. He doesn't have any female friends because men, 99.9% of men, are just waiting for the moment for that friend gate, that friend, what's it called? The friend zone. For them to penetrate the friend zone.
I don't like that word. Okay.
I think that's what he used.
You
I don't
said
know.
penetrate.
Well, he said slide into that crack.
Yeah.
I don't like that either.
I think I like penetrate better.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
I think
back to
penetrate kind of
Okay.
works a little bit better. Because when he said
Yeah.
slide into that crack, I was like, damn, boy, relax.
What the hell?
Yeah, so this is actually from a couple of years ago, but he started his TikTok account, and I believe that this is like one of the
pulled up
videos
one of
he
those
posted.
old
Yeah,
clips.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, he wanted to bring. He wanted to go viral.
Yeah, I think so. So, what is your take on that? I want to go straight to Chris.
I think it's cool. You have friends that are girls.
Are you trying to get into the crack?
No. I don't. That sounds weird to me. I don't like that. No.
Wait. What sounds weird?
Slide into the crack. I don't slide into nobody's crack.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Let's remove that.
Okay.
Let's just say, like, if at some point in time, like, you know,
Choose your words wisely.
there's a moment,
Uh-huh.
and a slip up could happen between you and a friend. You matter of fact, let's actually take it 5 steps back.
Okay.
You ever look at a friend and a friend that you're attracted to, and not saying like you think like, oh my gosh, they're so fine, but like when you look at them, you're like, oh, that's a pretty person, right? Or like I could be attracted to this person. That you ever been like, I knock that down?
No.
You never done that. You're not a guy.
Yeah. Sure.
This is multiple genders on the internet.
Wow, what
I
do you think
appreciate
about
you,
it?
man. All inclusive.
So, okay, I have quite a few female friends. I have quite a few female friends. Have I ever messed that up? Yeah,
Really?
but not very often. Like one time.
But like severely messed it up, or you
Yeah,
just
like
really?
we're not friends at all.
Oh, okay.
But it's not that I messed it up per se. It was more that I was not clear about my intentions because I did not know all the way through how that person felt about me. So I thought it was just kind of like a just casual thing. And then it was like, you're going to be my boyfriend now. And I was like, is that right?
That's important to clear up before.
I
Boy,
didn't know.
that's your friend.
Say it again?
I'm a boy that's your friend.
Uh-huh.
You didn't put enough of a gap between those words when you said it. That's
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. So when I was just like, that's not going to happen, then the friendship just kind of dissipated.
Well, yeah.
And then I learned my lesson there where I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't think I should do that.
It's
You
too
know?
I don't think guys.
But
girls can be
there
friends.
have been times where I've like wanted to, but then I always catch myself and I'm like, I remember what happened to that one girl.
It's too
I'm good.
complicated.
So I think it depends on what level, because like friends is like a spectrum, right? I don't think a guy and a girl could be talking every single day.
That's,
You know, like
that's fair.
like if you're talking to a girl as a guy for like hours at a time, regularly throughout the week, whatever it is, and you guys are that's not a friendship. Like you guys are gonna turn into something. Like can it be like casual, like we see each other, or like there's like some kind of other reason why we're seeing each other all the time? Maybe it's work, maybe it's like we're roommates, maybe it's like something like that. I think maybe because we're forced into a situation, but if it's by like choice and we're like spending this much time together, we're speaking for hours on the phone, like it just like a level of attraction or like comfort or something will happen. And when maybe alcohol gets involved or like something gets sparked, like it could turn into something. I don't know. I can only speak for myself. There's never been a situation where I've been really close with a girl that it hasn't gone somewhere other than just like platonic friends.
Now that made me think about something. So I became friends with a lady who is married, and we became like real tight really quickly about a year ago. Mm-hmm. And it did make me feel a little bit uncomfortable because we talked about everything, like sent each other memes and like texting and all this kind of stuff. But I never was like trying to push up because I know your husband, you know what I'm saying? Right. And he's a cool guy. And at one point in time, I thought like maybe he feels a certain kind of way, but they are like secure in their marriage to, where that wasn't a big deal. But there was one incident that happened where there was an earthquake at like 3 or 4 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then she had texted me and was like, "Did you feel the earthquake?" Like,
that's crazy.
You see what I'm saying?
That's how you knew she was in love.
No. But it made me.
How did you guys become friends?
Just kind of met. We just met.
That doesn't happen. Where did you meet?
We literally
Kelby, no, that
just
happens.
met. Like we just met out and about.
100% that happens with Kelby.
You went to her and was like, "Hey, let's chop it up."
No. So what happened was we talked about like conspiracy theories. And then we
at
just
what setting? Like, you guys were at what, like an ice cream shop?
No,
like, this was
we
at,
were
like,
just like out, like in West Hollywood. I was out with my friend, and then we just met, and we were just started talking about conspiracy theories. And then she was like, "Oh, let me send you some." And
like
then
you just tap on a girl's shoulder and be like,
"No,
hey.
no, we just like met." Like
you
it just
have
was like
to be there to believe it, but it happens 1,000%.
Yeah.
Kelby will, and I would just be walking, and some dude would be like, "Hey man, I like your shoes. Let me get your number." "Oh, that's cool, man. Let's talk about shoes."
Yeah.
That's it. Like that's immediately.
that's
Some guy would be
legitimately my
asking
life.
for your number.
It was Jason.
the guy's girl. It doesn't matter. Like
Interesting.
Jason Barkley.
Jason Barkley. So, for example,
He was
like
catering a thing.
I met Jason at a mansion party, a Playboy mansion party.
Who's Jason Barkley?
He's
Good
a
friend of
guy
ours.
who was like in one of us, a couple of my projects, and now he's like a part of our friend group.
Yeah.
Like he's a part of my friend group. But I was working at the Playboy Mansion, or it was like a Playboy Mansion party, and I just saw him, and he saw me, and I was like, "Hey, where you from?" And he was like, "From New York."
Yeah.
And
That's how he
then
talks.
like he was like, "Let me get your number." Like we just started talking, and then boom,
The
we're friends.
next day, he showed up to one of our shoots.
Yeah, like I just attract people.
It's the weirdest thing, but Kelby just like hangs out with everybody.
Yes. So
Okay, so she texts you about the earthquake.
yeah, so it made me feel like, oh my gosh, is this like the wrong time? It's early. It's like 4 in the morning.
Well,
You know?
I mean, I guess.
That's demon hours.
You know? So I was a little bit worried about it, but when I hung out with their family, it was just like
Yeah,
you know
I was
what I'm
gonna
saying?
say like you can text anybody about the earthquake.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing. You keep playing this like you're worried about the other person. We talking about your own feelings and emotions.
Well, it's understandable. It's understandable what you're saying, but I think that you do have to think about that. One of the reasons why some people may feel like men and women cannot be friends is because a woman could potentially be in a relationship with another person. And could you be friends with somebody who's in a relationship?
Well, it's also you could catch feelings for each other.
Exactly. You could.
You could catch feelings. Now, if you're doing it like Sunil says, texting them every day, and then you only hang out with them, and it's like every day you're hanging out, going to dinner, doing all that stuff. Okay, for sure. Like, then there's a chance it might not stay friends. There's a chance it could, but there's
Yeah, there's a chance that he could.
There's a
I don't
chance
think there's
it might not
0% chance that it
really.
could. Because you gotta understand, like, talking to somebody on a regular basis, even if it's like same like a guy with a guy that talks to like us, that we talk with each other at all times, it's a choice that we're making. There's like a different level of connection versus just somebody we're talking to like every once a month or whatever the case may be. So and then when you bring in like the alternate, you know, sex or somebody you're attracted to, like, I'm assuming, you know, I don't know, but I'm assuming like even guys that are gay, like maybe it's the same type of thing because of the attraction level. But like when you're spending that much time talking to somebody, when you're spending that much time hanging around somebody, like, it's not normal. Like you're doing that because there's a different type of connection versus
decision.
versus just like, you know, just acquaintance type stuff.
Well, what's the difference between, like, does this only apply to people that you are attracted to? Because
That you
what if
possibility of, like, so for example, like I'm not gay, so like I can hang out with the dude and all this kind of stuff. I'm never gonna get attracted to that dude, but I would
you feel
assume that if
connected
I
to that
could be
person.
attracted to that dude, it would be the similar type of situation.
so you're saying
Which is
men
why-
and women can only be friends if they're not attracted to each other?
No, even if there isn't an initial attraction, like it will become
could
something because
develop.
the attraction becomes emotional and different from just the physical attraction.
I don't think that's true.
I think it's a possibility, but I don't think it's 100%.
I think it's 100%. I'm with Steve Harvey on this, that like men and women can't be like friend. When I'm saying friends, I'm saying the person that you're talking to multiple times, like this, you're like on the phone
But that's
for
the
hours.
extreme.
And
That's
stuff
the
like that.
extreme, though.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
but
think of your
just
friend.
acquaintances.
No, just think of like a good friend of yours.
But that's what I'm saying. What defines a good friend?
Okay, but consider it for you. Like for you, you text me like memes and
Yeah.
videos and stuff like that. But we're not like all day long, right?
Right.
Just bring it down to that level instead of like, oh, you're talking nonstop all day long. Like the average friend is not talking nonstop all day long.
Okay.
Okay, so just bring it back down to that level, and could that be a healthy thing?
Yeah. But I don't think he was saying that it was unhealthy. He was saying that at one point, if circumstances allowed, like it could turn into something. Like, say for example, let's say the most famous entanglement of the summer was what?
August and Elcina?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did that start?
I don't think it started as friends.
Well, supposedly the story is that they were just all friends, right? Will Smith knew, like, everybody was hanging out, all this kind of stuff. They were like counseling him through circumstance situations. Like, it started out as like nothing romantic. It was just like a friend. They even said around that round table, like, this is a friend of ours, so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
but he was like a wounded pigeon.
Okay, but nonetheless, it was a friendship that led into something that turned obviously sexual, right?
But that could've
because
been
the
like,
moment that there was an opening, there was an issue between Jada and Will. Who did she run to? The person that she's emotionally entangled with, that was the most convenient.
Yes, okay. That's where I think I would have to stop you. You said most convenient. That means that Jada probably has a bunch of other male friends.
Maybe not. We don't know that.
What I'm saying is I have been friends with women who have been in and or out of relationships for a very long time. And even if there have been some where I'm like, oh, maybe I'm attracted to you, I also say, I'm probably not going to do anything about this because it's not the right thing to do.
But you're not somebody that makes moves on a regular in the first place.
Okay.
So I think that's different. Like, you're not the random hookup type person anyways.
Okay. But still, like, I'm not the only one.
Right. But I think what Steve was talking about was like, I mean, I think from what he was saying is like people that are like that. That
Okay,
that
yeah,
is-
I mean, if you have a problem, it's like saying, you know, if you have a drinking problem, stay away from drinking. You know, it's the same thing.
But I don't think that's necessarily a problem. Like, for me, if I'm like person, every girl that has been like, we've talked and we got to a place where we're talking all the time, like we consider ourselves friends, we're hanging out, watching movies, like it starts out like not, hey, let's, I'm interested in you, you're interested in me. It starts off on some kind of like innocent thing.
Buddies.
It grows into something deeper because you're spending that much time with somebody from the opposite sex, and it ends up being like, oh, this is somebody I could kick it with, somebody like the comfort level turns into something that makes it into something more than just friends.
I think that applies to specific people. I think
So you're saying I got a problem?
You could.
I think I'm normal.
You could. Like, you don't see. Here's the thing. If you cannot be friends with a woman at all, that kind of means you don't see them as a person.
See, and that's what I disagree with.
You see them as a sexual object.
Nah, I'm not saying that I can't be friends. I'm saying it's a choice for both people to get into that situation, right? It's not like I'm just...
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So if I haven't had a friend that was a girl, that means every girl that I've had that is a friend and like ended up doing the same thing with me. So how does that make... How is that just a one-sided issue?
Well, maybe they have problems too.
Maybe
They could.
They see you as a sexual object.
I don't think so. I don't think that it has anything to do with seeing somebody as a sexual object.
Well, how is it possible that I have had
Maybe girls aren't attracted
many
to
friends? They could also not be attracted to me.
you. Maybe you have a problem of not being a sexual.
That's not a problem. That's a great thing.
I don't know. From my experience.
So you agree with Steve?
I do, because like I don't really know too many. Actually, to be honest, you're probably one of my good friends that actually has a lot of female friends.
Yeah, I have a ton of female friends. A lot.
But most of my guy friends, nah.
Why you want to hang around a bunch of other dudes?
Why I don't? What do you mean? I don't understand. I don't hang around a bunch of other dudes. I'm saying my good friends that are dudes.
Uh-huh.
They don't have a lot of girlfriends.
I think it's beneficial to hang around ladies, like if possible, because they have a different perspective on life. They could keep you like locked in on certain things. I know there are dumb things that I would have done if it weren't for my female friends being like, oh no, you're getting set up, or like, don't do that, or don't leave the house looking like that, or something like that. Like, there's a lot of benefits to having female friends, and you just got to keep yourself at bay, because ultimately, if you value their friendship just like you value a guy's friendship, then you're going to want to keep that around.
But you saying you got to keep yourself at bay is proving the point.
No, I mean, that's if it got into that territory.
Yeah,
because some of my female friends are very beautiful.
Yeah, but whether the thing is that attraction is going to happen. I don't think, like, obviously you can have the willpower to not do it. But I think what Steve was saying, at least what my interpretation was, is that eventually it'll get to a place where that can happen. Now, whether you choose to act upon it or choose not to act upon it, that's a different story. But I'm saying, like, the fact that you said you have to keep yourself at bay means that that's what he's talking about, is that eventually it'll get to a place where it'll get romantic or feelings will be involved.
I don't know. That's only if it applies there, and you can't choose who you're going to be romantically interested in. Like, if you become romantically interested in one of your female friends, then it's on you to make that choice that, okay, yes, I'm going to go for that, or I am not. But that doesn't mean that automatically now all of my female friends, I'm attracted to them.
Yeah, but that, once again, like I said, it depends on the level. So maybe the level of what I consider, because I have girls that I guess are around that I can talk to and all that kind of stuff, but I don't necessarily consider them like really good friends. I consider them friends, like peripheral, but I'm talking about people that are good friends that you invest conversations with, that I go to with things. Like, I don't have any girlfriends like that. Only people that are like either girls that I'm like talking to at the time, or maybe like people that I've dated in the past that are now like, we're just friends, stuff like that. But like,
I don't know, man.
Because
I think you're missing out on some stuff.
But I don't think I am, because I still have that ability to seek out advice from girls and still have like female presence around me. It's just like, I think we're talking about two separate things. Like, I don't know if you're talking about like deep friendships. You're just talking about girls that are friends.
No, I'm talking about deep friendships. Like Bree is like my really, really, really close friend.
I was just gonna bring that up.
You know, that I've known for 12 years.
But didn't you? I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this on camera.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
So like when we talked about that situation, you were like, you had to think about it, and you're like, nah, I'm not gonna go through with it.
Yeah, I think in the beginning of the relationship, we're trying to find out like what is this relationship, which I think you don't have to necessarily do with your male friends. Like you just, hey, that's my buddy. There's no traction here, but you have to make that choice with your female friends to find out like, well, what is this? You know, is she coming around, hanging out, just, you know, like what do you want? What do I want? Once we make that decision and we just say, oh, we're friends and that's it, then that's what we are.
Yeah, but that's the choice. You guys made that choice.
Yeah, but you make that choice with your male friends as well. You don't have to be friends with your male friends.
No, but what I'm saying is initially there was a chance that it could have gone a different way. You decided not for it to go that way. That's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, I don't think either one of us were really all that attracted to each other. It was never like, oh no, like, what are we going to do? No, it was just like, oh, got you. Okay, cool. That was it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're saying the same thing. But you're just like,
to
you're
me,
just saying,
it's just got to be a case by case basis.
Yeah,
I think so.
You're
but
just
like,
saying you decide not to, but you're not saying I've never like.
I think.
but just because you decide not to doesn't mean that you should not be friends with them.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be friends. What Steve is saying is that he doesn't have girlfriends because he doesn't want it ever to get to a point where he has to make that decision.
Yeah, but Steve Harvey is also on his 4th marriage and has a problem being faithful.
Okay.
Have you ever considered that?
Yeah, but I'm saying it I'm saying it from you could have guys and girls could be friends, but it will genuinely always get to a point where you either have to do what you're talking about, make the choice that like, hey, we're not going to take it past friendship, or you do take it past friendship.
Well, I think that I don't actually think we're on the exact same page. I think that you're caught up more on the choice part. Like you guys choose to surpass the option to be in a relationship or to like each other, which to me is not a big deal. If you choose that, then you choose that, and then you move on.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying that a choice has to be made. It's
okay,
not
well, we're going to get you on Friendship Bumble. Sorry, JessSpring.com.
That's not what it's called.
Whatever it's called. Sorry. But we're going to get to Neil 10 female friends.
But
but
the reason why I say it is I think a lot of the same things that causes people to be like invest time in each other are the same things. Like there's a very thin line between a girlfriend and just a friend, right? As the same things that cause me to want to spend time with this girl as a friend are probably a lot of overlap over the same things that cause me to want to spend time with the girl that I'm like in a relationship with. It's all the same, like, maybe like similar sense of humor, like comfort level around each other.
Let me ask you this. Does that change if the woman is a lesbian? And like, she's like pressing up on you to play basketball and stuff?
I don't know. I haven't been exposed to that.
I see. I have quite a few lesbian friends, and I also see them as like the homies too. I don't know. I maybe I'm different, but to me, like if I don't really classify my friends as like, oh, it's a woman or it's a man. The only time is like those few times where they're married, and I don't want to like do the wrong thing. I don't want to like text you at the wrong time. Like my friend Stephanie, I remember one time we met at work. And I texted her about something at like 9 p.m. And then this guy that was working with us, he was like, you texted a married woman at 9 p.m.? But in my mind, I was just like, that's just the homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it made sense. Like I remembered that because I was like, oh, you're right. Like I don't want it to be seen as anything, other than that. But then, she knows what we are and her husband knows what we are. So she was just like, man, like whatever, like, so that's when I was just like, I just have to be clear every single time at the beginning to say like, I am not a threat. I'm not trying to do anything wrong. And once you got that, then it's good to go.
And I think, in reflection of the moment, saying, because you said I have a problem, maybe I do. Maybe because I think you have a lot more friends than I have friends. Like, I don't have a big circle like you do. I have like multiple people that I just link up with all the time. Like, I just have like a very few amount of people. So usually that's probably a correlation as well.
That could be that, but I'm also in my early 20s, so I have a lot of friends.
When did this become the men who lie on the internet?
How long have you been in your early 20s for? I'm pretty sure I met you when you were in your early 20s, and we've been friends for a decade.
So,
moving on. All right, Floyd Mayweather is about to punch the lights out of this kid. What's gonna happen?
happening?
Y'all gonna watch it?
Is it going down?
Yes, Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, the nice brother. Wait, let me get a census of the room real quick. Does everybody like Logan Paul?
I do.
I don't.
You do?
I like both of them.
Okay, you don't like.
don't.
You don't. Why don't you like him?
I don't like.
Do you know which one's Logan, which one's Jake?
Yes.
Okay.
Logan's the bigger one.
Yeah.
Is he bigger? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or the older one, whatever.
He's the older one. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like cocky people like that.
But is he cocky?
I don't know. It just. I've seen a bunch of his interviews and stuff like that. I don't like people like that.
I think he's a genius.
I think
it's cool to have confidence, and that's always good. But like when it's too much, it's too much.
Yeah, I've never gotten that sense from him.
I always thought that Logan was a kind, nice brother.
Yeah, I mean, early on he got into some heat because he was young, and doing stuff that maybe he shouldn't have been doing, and got into some tiffs with your boy Chris D'Elia and all that kind of stuff. But
everybody says he's my boy.
That's your boy.
That's not.
Chris loves Chris D'Elia. He was all up on the
When the
Babkins.
hell did I say
the Babkins and the napkins? Chris was going crazy for the Babkins.
That one clip.
Yeah. Nah, that's your guy.
Nah, that's not.
So
He likes Chris D'Elia. What's the other Chris's name?
Chris Penn.
No. The Chris with the Chris D'Amelio.
Chris Stefano.
Chris
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, he like both them.
I don't like
all
Chris
them Italian Chris.
I mean, I like D'Elia. I don't like.
You like Chris
go
D'Elia.
crazy for it.
Yeah, no, he was defending him when he had that.
I know, he
that whole
was.
thing. He was like, he wasn't texting them.
Again, when does it become the men who lie on the internet? Because I never said any of that, bro.
Chris is toxic.
Those girls lied. They did it to Akon.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Wow.
You dumb as hell, Kelly.
But yeah, this fight is happening. I mean, it's a joke.
When's it happening?
June, I think.
It's early June, like June 5th or something like that.
Yeah, because Floyd's gonna destroy this man.
So the thing that makes it, I guess the angle that they're gonna play is, Logan's a big dude. He's gonna come in 190, and Floyd usually fights at 145 to 155.
Damn, okay.
So he'll probably max weigh 160. So there's that 30-pound difference. But Floyd Mayweather is the greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah.
And he never gets hit by people who have boxed their whole life. So to think that Logan Paul is going to be able to box for the last 3 years and do things that professional boxers...
I'm pretty sure Logan Paul lost his match too.
He did, but he lost to KSI.
With the I was gonna ask you.
His official record as a pro boxer is 0-1 and 1.
Why didn't KSI get the Floyd fight?
Yeah, seriously.
Because Logan Paul is much better at marketing than KSI. And the Paul brothers are, two of the smartest dudes in the, social media industry, of all time. They're breaking records and they're showing people what's possible.
So I am 1,000,000% for this fight.
Yeah,
I'm 1,000,000% for it. The reason why is because I love good business. Mm-hmm. What's the problem? I understand that Floyd is Floyd. I get it, but he's also not Floyd anymore. He's a retired boxer. Right? He's a retired boxer. And for me, the thing is, we've always liked celebrity matchups until all of a sudden we just don't like it anymore. Mm-hmm. There was a whole show based on celebrity fake boxing matchups, and it was like a cartoon or something.
Yeah.
Celebrity deathmatch, and then everybody
Claymation.
wanted it to be in real life, and then now it happens, and it's like, why is he fighting him? Shut up! If you don't like Logan Paul, this is wonderful for you because you're gonna see Floyd just poop that guy right down to the ground, and then if you like Logan Paul, you're racist, but
Wow.
just kidding.
He said he liked him in the beginning too.
But if you like Logan Paul and it's going to be entertaining for you, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's not about the integrity of boxing. It's just about
who's getting
entertainment.
upset is the purists.
Yeah, shut up.
But you know what? I have to push back a little bit because last week,
Yeah.
when it came to Dave Chappelle,
Yes.
you had very strong feelings about him not doing something that could tarnish the legacy or too much and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's the same viewpoint of these purists that are looking at Floyd saying,
Okay.
what are you doing?
Okay, I think that those are two different things. I think that for Dave Chappelle coming out with a podcast, Dave Chappelle is an active comedian, an active voice in the community. I think that when Dave Chappelle speaks, things stop moving. I think when Dave Chappelle speaks, things change. Money is moved. Checks are written. And that comes with that power of choosing the wisest moments to speak. Floyd, on the other hand, owns strip clubs.
That's facts.
Yeah, but when it comes
He's no longer
when it
an
comes
active boxer, and
technically, but at the end of the day, he what's active to him? He used to fight once every 2 years.
Fine.
So
Okay.
this is like the same type of scenario.
Totally
He's used
fine.
to taking big layoffs and just coming back for a fight.
right. But when Floyd fought, the world didn't stop.
Of course they did.
No. The world didn't stop. It was just like this
that's
is highly entertaining. But with every punch that Floyd landed, it didn't affect people. There weren't think pieces written about Floyd. It was just like, damn, this guy's an amazing boxer. But LeBron James is a different example of that because LeBron James plays basketball, but then he speaks, and the people listen when he speaks. Floyd can't read a Harry Potter book.
But I think you're taking it to
them
two
Harry
different
Potter books
levels.
are huge,
I'm
though.
talking about from
are
the
big.
prism of these guys that are saying Floyd shouldn't do this. They're looking at
Then
it.
who should do it? Who?
Well, they're saying Floyd is the greatest boxer of all time. To have him stoop to this type of level is what, and I'm saying from the pure side because I'm all about this fight because to me it's just pure entertainment and
It's
they're both just trying to
100%.
chase the bag.
Yeah.
And I'm all about, hey, go get the bag.
That's it.
But
Black King,
I
get the
also understand where it's coming from, and it is very similar to the same thought process that you were saying with Dave Chappelle because they're looking at it like in the box of boxing. When Floyd comes out and does a fight, it does stop everything in boxing. That's all people talk about.
Well, yes,
That's all that
yes.
it is doing that. So when you're coming out and you're shining the light on boxing, but you're doing it with a YouTube person, they feel like you're diminishing the brand where our best boxer doesn't shine light to the sport. He's doing, exhibition what people are calling like a clown or whatever, that.
But here's the thing: is maybe the value of the brand wasn't that great in the first place.
Which is true.
Because here's the thing: if you are going to be boxing a YouTuber and you can make way more money than you ever made boxing real boxers, I'd never box a real boxer ever again.
That's true. Why you think
What
Jake
that
Paul's
got to do
doing-
with me?
Why is Jake Paul doing Jake Paul things? It's exactly that. Why does he need to fight a
do
boxer?
with me? You could go off and make 30 cents boxing real boxers. Enjoy. I got a friend whose face is half punched in because he spent his whole life trying to become the next big thing. You know what? He's 40 years old now, and he can't see out of his left eye, and he's broke.
Yeah.
I'm sure if Jake Paul said, "Yo, I'll fight you. You can make 500 grand," he'd let him punch his face in. He would, because at the end of the day, the people who are complaining ain't the ones who are paying their bills doing this.
True.
So have nice opinions that you can have for free, but clearly, if there's an opportunity there, we live in America. We live in opportunity land. Go make the money. It's not going to say that the 50 matches that you won, you didn't fight and you didn't win. You're still the great one. Make the money.
which was my argument for Dave Chappelle as well. Go make your money, king.
No, I honestly think that the thing is that
watch this backpedal right here.
No. I think the thing with Dave Chappelle is you're looking at it as a current bag. I think in the long run, Dave Chappelle could make more money with less work. Like I think that there's an art to being a mega star, and it's being very wise with the words that you choose and when you decide to release them. So we've noticed in today's cancel culture, in today's Twitter culture, in today's everybody has a voice culture, that the people you used to like, the moment they start talking too much, you realize I actually really don't like this person. And that you leave that giant risk with Dave Chappelle, somebody who 99% of people like. But then he has that room to say one thing that diminishes the brand. And that way, in the future, his voice is not as powerful anymore. That's what I'm scared of.
And I think that he's looking at a guy like Joe Rogan, who's also a comedian, also has a podcast, and is way more powerful than Dave Chappelle.
Is Joe Rogan more powerful than Dave
Absolutely.
Chappelle?
Think about how many times, think about the power that Joe Rogan has been able to create from having this podcast. He had, during the presidential campaign, every single presidential candidate like begging for them to get time on his show. His interviews with Bernie Sanders changed the way the election went. His interviews with Tulsi changed the way the election went. His view on vaccines just recently became international news because of his things. And he's a comedian that has this podcast, but now because of the influence he has, people are afraid of him saying things, of what he says, because of how much of an impact he has. That's way more of an impact than Dave Chappelle has.
I don't think so.
But he makes a disclaimer of it, though. All the stuff that he says, like over the vaccine thing, he just...
Yeah, but I'm saying that's power. Like the fact that he could change, or he's part of the national conversation about things as a comedian, as a UFC announcer, as a former host of Fear Factor, to now be somebody that politicians want to get involved with, now being a part of just anything he says becomes national news. Dave Chappelle, like I said, he can do that once every now and then with a special. When he put out Sticks and Stones, maybe he made all that kind of stuff, but it's never been day after day news like Joe Rogan makes.
But I think that
makes it more powerful, though.
They're very different. I think, first of all, Joe Rogan is a vessel for other people's views. I don't necessarily think that Joe Rogan sitting in a room speaking to a camera by himself like Bill Burr is as effective as Dave Chappelle. I think that Joe Rogan has to be having a conversation with someone in order for his power to be unleashed.
Sure.
Versus Dave Chappelle can pick up a microphone and say, yo, don't watch that show on Netflix. And the show gets 0 views. Mm-hmm. That's very different. That we're talking about a guy who has interior power and a guy who has the ability to generate power with someone else. So I think that those are two different things.
But I think
and how many people are saying, yo, Joe Rogan told me not to get the shot. If you say that, I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people. So maybe like there's a difference between what you think and what's reality. And that reality is he has a huge influence. So when he says something, it does affect. Like he has the biggest podcast on the planet.
In the world, yeah.
And so he's reaching more people than probably on a consistent basis than anybody on the planet.
But that also has to deal with the fact that he is speaking to multiple different types of people.
But that doesn't negate or diminish his ability to create this. Whatever way you created your platform doesn't negate the power that you have with that platform. You can't say because he's not doing it by himself that makes him less powerful than Chappelle. Chappelle gets a bump from being on Joe Rogan's show. It's not the other way around.
Nah.
Joe Rogan is still going to be Joe Rogan. Chappelle is still going to be Chappelle. But there's a reason why Chappelle chooses to tour with Joe Rogan.
Listen, man, we don't diminish our black kings here. First of all,
I'm not diminishing him. I'm saying that he's powerful, but
first of
to
all,
say he's more powerful
Joe
than
Rogan
Joe Rogan
gets the bump when Chappelle is on the show. Joe
Okay.
Rogan gets the bump when Robert Downey Jr. is on the show. Joe Rogan gets the bump. If Joe Schmo from down the street gets on Joe Rogan, he's gonna hit the million. But when Dave Chappelle gets on there, he gets a 10.
Okay. I mean, Dave Chappelle isn't the most popular show that Joe Rogan's had.
Yeah, Robert Downey is, right?
No.
Who's the most popular?
Probably Alex Jones or Elon Musk or
Oh, that's
one
true.
of those
That's
guys.
true.
But what I'm saying is
But
that
that's-
that platform, like,
White people. You know how they are.
low hanging fruit.
I mean, you know that's how they are.
But yeah, so I think that how did we get from that from Logan Paul versus
Oh,
Floyd
I don't even know.
Mayweather?
But I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I want to be. I want to have a little event for it.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm 100% in. Like, I want to watch this. I want to have a good time. Like I said,
you gonna pay for it?
So you want me to pay for jatstarry.com? You want me to pay for your bumblefriendship.com? And you want me to pay for this?
Yeah,
This guy's
he's all
wild.
about, I want to watch it. I want to do this, but I ain't trying to buy it.
Man, I gotta pay for it.
I'll stream that
I mean,
illegally.
yeah, you right. What you think I got a cell phone for? What you think I got a Twitter for?
Yeah.
Huh? I'm gonna watch it whenever it is. Also, Aaron Carter is fighting Lamar Odom.
See, now that's something I don't want to watch.
Wait, in a boxing match?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Celebrity boxing.
When is that
Oh,
happening?
boy.
Do you know?
No, not a clue.
I don't know. But Aaron Carter is if you don't know who he is, he's the I Want Candy singer from 2001 ish, and he was a cool kid, and then he grew up and he lost his freaking mind.
Nick Carter's younger brother.
I don't even think Nick Carter wants you to know, because did you know they like beef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
So they
He's like estranged from that family.
yeah, he's 100% like not even really. I think they're just like, yo, change your last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has mental issues, so I don't want to like make fun of him too much.
Supposedly, like, there was a lot of, like, he had supposedly a rough childhood. Like he was abused as a kid, like, sexually and stuff like that. Like,
You could definitely tell that something was up. Yeah, you could definitely tell. But he's gonna fight Lamar Odom.
that's the clown show,
Who y'all got the money on?
man.
Aaron's been in the gym.
I heard
Yo,
that.
they came out for the face to face, and Lamar Odom's like 6'8". Aaron Carter's like 5'8".
Damn.
I think I'm taller than
Is
Aaron
Lamar
Carter.
Odom like 6 foot something?
He's a
He's
basketball player.
6'8", 6'9", something like that.
Shit. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I would say Lamar.
I mean,
I would say Lamar. I think I would.
I would say Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar Odom could be right out of that whorehouse and still beat him cracked out. Just boop, 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 boop.
Who's the guy? All right.
You said I want candy.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I think Lamar Odom in the face-off was on his, like, got down on his knees and was still as tall as Aaron Carter.
Yeah. I really have no clue how this came about, and nobody's really
Jake
talking
Paul,
about it.
man. It came about because everybody's seeing what Jake Paul's doing, and everybody's trying to catch that wave, but they don't understand
How
the
how it
Paul
works.
brothers are geniuses.
How it works. What I would really like to see is maybe Aaron Carter versus Drake Bell. Like, that makes more sense.
Yeah, something like kids celebrity.
Yeah.
You gotta have,
But you
like,
know
a
what?
beef.
Drake Bell has been in Mexico making music.
Really?
I don't know if you know that, but he makes Spanish music now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Drake Bell, I met him once. I have a picture
cool,
with him. He's a nice guy. Has real bad skin though, so just call me.
To call you for
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah, I got him.
Right on.
But yeah, so these are the fights. If I were the Lamar Odom, Aaron Carter people, I would just put it as an undercard to this
Floyd.
Logan.
Floyd and Logan fight. I also saw that that Iron Mike, he's gonna be fighting.
Evander, they've been talking about.
No.
it.
They call that one. I think it was Tony Lister now.
Tony Lister?
Is it Tony Lister?
I don't know who that is.
He's fighting somebody he lost to.
Buster Douglas?
Chris will look it up. But yeah, they called out the Evander Holyfield match. Don't know why, but Mike Tyson is gonna be fighting somebody else. I think it's Tony Lister. No, wait. Oh my gosh, is Tony Lister dead? I don't know. But it's
That'd be an interesting fight.
yeah.
The soul of Tony Lister versus Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So all these celebrity matches, I'm here for most of them. I actually will even watch the Lamar one. I'm here for it. Whatever, man. Whatever makes money.
Hey, as long as you illegally streaming things, you watch whatever. What
you mean?
As long as it's free.
What you mean? What you talking about? I don't do anything illegal. I'm a law-abiding citizen of the law. Say it again.
Is it Lennox Lewis?
Lennox Lewis.
I was gonna say I don't know who
Thank
Lister
you.
is. Wow, he's fighting Lennox Lewis.
Yes.
Lennox Lewis is still in shape.
Yeah. Well, Mike's in shape.
He is, but Lennox Lewis.
He's in a different type of shape.
I mean, I don't know. Lennox Lewis is old too. For them to come back, it should be that'd be a fun. I'd watch that fight for sure.
I wonder where it would be because you said that Mike is not. He's not a Triller guy anymore.
Nah, they'll find whatever. He could do it on Showtime. He could do it on whatever he wants.
What's the Floyd one gonna be?
Floyd is Floyd Promotions.
Is that going to be on Triller though?
No, that'll probably be on like pay-per-view.
Oh, I'm definitely not buying that.
It's
that's
more
gonna,
than $0.
That's gonna be like
Damn.
$75. But one of the
Probably.
best nights that I had in a long time was the Floyd Pacquiao fight.
Yeah, that was a great time.
That was a good night. That was a very good night. I hung out with a lot of Filipinos that night, getting some incredible food. It was a good night. It was a good night. So
Bad fight, but a good night.
yeah, not the greatest fight, but there was another fight. The Floyd Connor fight. That was a good night. Too.
Yeah.
That was a good night. Yeah, so I think with all these fights, they're just encouraging people to just kind of like, I mean, have the backyard cookouts and all that kind of stuff again. Like that's another reason why I'm like into it. You know, where it's just
For
like,
sure.
everybody just coming
Gatherings.
back together. Yeah, I see
Moments
everybody
that
like
you
on
can have.
Instagram,
Memories.
coming back together again. It's like, okay, you know, what's it gonna do to you if Floyd fights Barney or something like that?
Yeah.
Whatever. That's on Floyd, but we having a good time watching it. All right, moving on.
We you want to still talk about fights?
Yeah, we got another one?
There's a reconciliation.
Tell me about it.
Joe Budden podcast.
Oh yes, let's touch on this real quick. So the boys from the JBP are back together, and in a somewhat transparent episode. I don't know if you watched it. You watch it?
Yeah, I was.
Or listen to it?
I listened to the hour clip that they put on just the reconciliation.
Okay. So they spoke about their beef, which wasn't like the most intense beef, right? We can say that.
I don't know.
I don't feel like it was the most intense beef, but it was beef.
It depends. What beef are you talking about? Because I think the stuff between Maul and Joe Budden is still intense. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was the situation because you can imagine that the person whose name is on the show, who goes to all the meetings, is going to tell the person that's name is not on the show, that doesn't go to the meetings, that's not the quote unquote value of the show, that why everybody's tuning in, is going to say something like that once their moves are being questioned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get that. And I assumed that that's what the issue was. I didn't think it was more about standing for Rory. I thought it was more about like, yo, don't disrespect me as a person.
Yeah, definitely it was about respect because he used that word like 3,000 times trying to explain his side of the story.
Yes. You know, and as we know, or as he says, he's a man of integrity.
What do you feel about Maul?
What do I feel about him in what sense?
Do you buy this whole like persona of Maul? Do you think it's authentic or do you think it's
Yeah.
for the cam?
I don't think he's a fake person. I think that he's a person that comes from a specific background. So he has cultivated this personality where he's like not one to speak quickly. He's not one to be extremely emotional. He's not one to want to be seen as less of a man than he is. So he grew up around like iconic figures, you know. So I think that all cultivates into who he is today.
I mean, I look at him as somebody, because when I was watching it, you know, obviously Joe said some things to him which I think were out of line, and I think that it was probably just all emotional Joe, and you know, he said what he had to say, and he tried to apologize about it, but Maul's always been the sidekick in anything that I could think of, in the sense, like, even when he was like with, you know, Rockefeller and all that kind of stuff, he was just there because his brother was Biggs, you know what I mean? And so he's a sidekick towards that. And then how he's famous now is being Joe Budden's sidekick, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't like this word sidekick.
I'm saying
I think
he is not the center of attention. He is not. He is not the reason why people are coming in. The only reason why people know him is because they're coming in to see Joe Budden and he's there. So when you look at,
Maul is cool too. Like, he has a couple of, he has times where it's like, okay, I like what he's
I
saying.
get that, but I'm saying, like, everything that he has, I would say, necessarily, as far as like with the podcast and all this kind of stuff, is not necessarily from his own doing, meaning that, like, it was Joe Budden that had the pull and all this kind of stuff that could create the platform, and he's benefiting from that. And also, like, I don't think, like, they're getting connections from Maul. The connections are coming from Joe and all this kind of stuff. Even like back when Joe was doing Love and Hip Hop and all this kind of stuff, Maul was the friend that had to like hold back the women and like all this kind of stuff, play like peacemaker. Like, Maul was the dude that he had to send, like, even in the stories, like, Maul's the dude he sends out to do the work, like, you know, go talk to this person, go talk to that person. It wasn't like Maul's a shot caller in any sense. So for him to not understand what was going on and to be like, yo, you need to respect me and all this kind of stuff, I was just kind of confused, because I'm like, bruh, like, at what point were you ever like super equals with any of these guys?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're on something like, let's say this show, I think I value everybody's opinion, you know, even if it may have been, you know, necessarily like my doing, or I'm putting in like this work and effort and stuff. Like, at the end of the day, it becomes something because of everybody's input, and everybody's valuable to a certain extent. And at the same time, like, it's not good business and it's not good practice to disrespect somebody, you know, especially when, like, in a corporate environment. If you work at Amazon, you don't talk to Jeff Bezos on a daily basis, right? But if you are one of the people that talk to Jeff Bezos on a daily basis, you got to respect that person. Even if Jeff Bezos pulled them up from obscurity, they are close enough to the top where you got to say, like, okay, you're there for a reason. You're not just a lackey or something like that. You're there for a reason. So if if Maul is talking to the head of operations at all points in time, he's valuable. And no, I wouldn't want to be disrespected by somebody just because your name is on the marquee. At the end of the day, we still fellas. Like, you got to talk to somebody a way that makes people recognize, like, I'm not here to disrespect you, but at the end of the day, I make all the decisions. So I did what I thought was best for us, and I do apologize for making you feel like you were not valuable, but at the same time, like, recognize my position.
I feel like that's what Joe's doing.
He just didn't word it that way.
That's what I got from it, though. I think what Joe, like, from what I was watching, Joe was most upset that these guys just bounced.
Yeah, definitely.
But the fact that they boycotted or whatever it was, like, went on strike, shows that they already know that they aren't at the same level as Joe. Because the boss never goes on strike. The employees go on strike.
Yes.
So that's what I didn't understand about this whole thing. Like, you guys are coming in saying that we are all equals and we built this together. We're equal in, like, sweat equity and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you believe that, you would have never gone on strike.
Well, I mean, to Maul's point, his whole thing was like, we went on strike and you kept it going, and he wasn't a big fan of that.
Right. But then you going on strike already proves that you don't have the same type of thing, because ethics, or like belief that this is your business, because you wouldn't just shut down your business over, like, you know, the business has to keep going. Period. No, if you're an owner, you're not shutting down your business.
Yeah.
You're not going on strike and being like, I'm going on strike. Like, you can't go on strike. It's your own business. Like,
No, but you can, because the thing is,
but
like,
who are you striking against?
but here's the thing: a lot of people do not put a lot of value into their team, into the people that run the business on a daily basis. A lot of companies, they don't put enough stock into the people that do the grunt work, and the people that turn the lights on every morning and turn it off every evening and count the registers and do all that kind of stuff. Yes, it may be the mundane, just lackey job or whatever, but that's what runs your business. So I do understand the point of Maul saying, like, we could have just shut it down for a week, because they shut the show down whenever they want. And so you could have just shut it down for a week and just talked to all of us, and then we would have got right back good. It's your fault we went 6 weeks without doing it right.
True.
So as a leader as well, Joe got to make that decision to say, like, okay, do I want to shut this down for 6 weeks, or do I want to just say, like, yo, we're taking this one day off. We need to all have a conversation and come to the right position.
Joe was strategizing.
Sure, but he wasn't strategizing it the best way.
I don't know. I think he just proved to these guys that, hey, y'all are replaceable. We were able to have this show for 6 weeks without you.
The numbers did not dip.
Numbers did not dip. Everybody still got paid. We were still entertaining. People were still tuning in. In fact, maybe numbers went up because people were like,
I think they went up like 30%.
paying attention. From what you were telling me, you're reading the comments, and it seems like there was a lot of people that were like cool with.
Yeah, they were.
They liked the new setup and all this kind of stuff.
I kind of liked them.
So I think Joe was very strategic with it, and is like, all right, these guys think that they're the show. Let me show them. And I think it took 6 weeks for these guys to be like, dang, he still hasn't called me.
Yeah, let me get my show back.
Dang, like.
Oh no, I think that you do. To close this conversation out, I think respect is the biggest thing, and just like talk to me in a way where I understand you're the boss, but don't talk to me like I'm a slave.
I agree with that, and I think Joe was wrong for that, and I think these guys also need to understand who they're dealing with, because I don't necessarily look at Joe as somebody that they're surprised that he popped off like this. Like,
Yeah,
this is what Joe does.
yeah, that's true.
He does this at Complex. He does, like, he spouts off at every single relationship he's been in.
Yeah.
He did this with, Interscope record. Like,
Yeah.
this is consistent.
Yeah, this is
like,
what he does.
What's inconsistent is now all of a sudden, because he turned it on you guys,
Yeah.
now you guys aren't with it. It's like, nah, that's Joe.
Now, I want to ask you a quick question. You are seeing someone, and they go to jail.
Okay.
You're seeing someone and they go to jail. In fact, they go to prison for like 5 years. You hold them down?
What they do?
It doesn't matter.
How long
It matters.
have we been together before? Like, are we in it, or is this like something that's
5
new?
years.
We've been together for 5 years.
3 years. 3 years.
We've been
Let's say
together
3
for
years.
3 years.
Yes, 3 years.
Dating or married?
Dating.
And they're for 5 years.
They got 5 years.
And they
in
told
the
we
pen.
had this conversation. They're like, you can't get with nobody else.
Well, that's the question. Because Mendices went to prison. His girl held him down, and then they asked him, "Hey, if your girl went to prison, would you hold her down?" And he was like, "I don't know." And everyone said, "Why is everybody not built like Papoose?"
I think Papoose and Remy are in a much different relationship than Mendices and whomever he's with. At
Whatever
this
that girl's
moment.
name.
Mendices wasn't holding her down when they were like, when he was free. You know what I mean? Like, how do you expect her to hold him down?
At least he's honest.
Wasn't Mendices the guy that has children with this?
Yandy, that's her name.
Yeah.
Yandy.
But then he had a kid with somebody else around the same time.
Damn, is that what happened?
I thought so.
Yikes. Damn, well, props to that guy for being really honest then. He could have just lied.
I don't think Yandy thinks that Mendices was gonna hold him down or whatever.
I mean, she cried.
When he said that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's not easy to hear, but
Well, are you going to do it? Actually, the best person to ask is Chris. Because Chris has been in a relationship since 2000.
That's false. If she was in jail,
She's out 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Am I holding it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Would you? When you got to think about it like that, that's how I know. She was like, I never liked her in the first place.
I think it depends on I think it depends on the relationship. I think if I was, so let me put it this way. If I was on the opposite side
Yeah.
and I'm in a relationship for 3 years and I'm going to jail for 5 years, I feel like I would tell the girl that I'm with, yo, do you?
Yeah, but what would you actually expect?
That I would hope that I'm not selfish enough to think that because of a choice that I made or a decision that I made, that her life needs to stop.
But at the same time, would she think you just pushing her away?
No, I said, do you? Doing you could mean you just hold me down. That's fine if that's a choice that you want to make. But I don't want to make it that, like, I want you to do whatever you need to do for yourself.
I guess.
I mean, I feel like men say that. We're just
But
like,
I'm not-
yo, do you? And then when she does do her, you're like, wow,
Yeah, you would be
really?
like,
I'm sure it
you
would-
really about to go get married?
Yo.
You bought a house with that, brother? For real? Yo, you're a whore, dog.
I'm sure there would be some hurt feelings about it, but the mature person should come to the understanding that, look, the reason why we're not together is because you made that choice and you got put into jail. It's not because of anything that she did.
Well, I mean, Keisha KR held Gucci down.
But that's her choice. If it was like she held it down because Gucci said that
Well, then let's add the layer. Chris, you did 5 years.
Okay.
She held you down 10 years later. She's got to do 5 years. Are you like,
That's math.
so let's just say you guys have already been through it, except now the shoe's on the other foot where
Exactly.
she's in jail
She
now
gotta do it.
and she's already been loyal.
there's so many hotties
But the
out
truth
now.
is, do you really think?
It's
Do
summertime.
you really
Can I come
know?
back in December?
Do you really know if they've been loyal or not?
I mean, let's just say that they have.
Okay.
I would say so. Yeah, why not? I don't have like this list of people that I'd rather be with if she wasn't around.
Oh, you don't?
I'm not like running out. What? Like I'm not itching to go.
You ain't got that?
But how long could you wait?
That's a
How long
fact.
could I wait? Ooh,
That's
that's
a
it.
fact.
Because you're gonna have to wait 5 years.
5 years is a lot of Jergens.
5 years is a lot of years.
Buy in bulk.
Think about that. You going from, if you 30, 35,
That's a long time.
that's some prime years.
That's a long time.
That's
I'm
prime
cool
real
with 5
estate.
years. 5 years is cool. I'll do it.
I'll answer.
Go ahead.
You're not doing
He said no.
You're not doing it.
Sorry.
Depends. How old am I?
This age.
Nah. Can't do it.
Even if y'all, let's say y'all been together, you got history, like five plus years.
Yeah, I mean, the history, she held me down.
Yeah, okay.
And if I'm prime, though,
Oh,
that's
my
what I'm saying. If I'm
gosh.
old, if I'm like 40, late 40s, early 50s, I think I'm holding her down.
Honestly feel like if I was in my you said what was it? For late 40s?
Late 40s, early 50s.
Early 50s? I ain't holding you down at all. I'm going out with my real grown man money, and I'm going crazy at the Fountain Blue.
Dang.
I'm going nuts.
What's that, strip club?
No.
Fountain Blue?
It's like a really fancy hotel in Miami. But everybody goes there. And it's
Right.
beautiful, and everybody's there is beautiful. So of course, I'm about to be walking up to the bar. What
But
you
what's
drinking?
holding somebody down at that point?
Not being with somebody else.
So but
B,
what's not
handling their
being
business.
what's not being with somebody else? Like just no sex?
Look at this guy.
He said, "What's the loopholes I could get
I'm
through?"
saying, but
What are
like,
the
what's
holes I can
considered
get
holding
through? Yeah.
somebody down? Like you can't, you acting like you're in a relationship still.
Yeah,
basically.
you're in a relationship. Like you're making sure you're not sleeping with somebody else. You're not going on dates with anybody else. You making sure like you put money on their books. Like you're holding them down, making sure that they're taken care of while they're in prison.
If I'm older, I'm holding them down. If I'm young, then nah.
I think I could do this a solid 2.5 years.
Wow. Okay.
I could do 2.5 years, but then after that, my eye will start looking around and all that kind of stuff.
After a while, you don't feel like you're in a relationship anymore.
It's a fact. Yeah.
If you're not able to talk to this person all the time, if you're not able to make memories, if everything, like, think about what those conversations, they're going to be the same conversation over and over and over.
What'd you do?
and over.
Oh, I ate. I went to the yard. I slept.
Yeah. I saw another dude drop the soap.
Yo, I won this time.
Yeah,
I won this time.
Yeah.
that was it. You know.
You ever had rice and roni?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about what happened last night.
All right. Well, it's good to know where y'all at. All right, what's next?
We could talk about Elon on SNL.
Yes. In the car, I was like, this is what we need to talk about. Okay. So, tough talk here.
Go ahead.
Elon Musk.
Musky.
The man.
The man who still sleeps in his office. The father of Jupiter Granat.
What?
There's like numbers in there, symbols.
Yeah, random things. The husband of Grimes. Somehow, I don't know how that happened. Love Grimes though. She got a couple of slaps. He is supposed to host Saturday Night Live, and the people, including the cast members, are big angry. We're talking about the network saying if you don't want to participate in the episode, you don't have to. Now, according to what I've seen on Facebook, people don't like these specific things about Mr. Musk. A, he said coronavirus was stupid, and he said it wasn't. He downplayed coronavirus. Number one. Number two, people don't like billionaires.
That's facts.
Am I missing something here?
I think he tends to have like a more centrist view about, like, he's capitalist.
Absolutely.
I think that but see, the thing about it is he's also one of the biggest proponents for green energy with the Teslas. And so, like, he's kind of that conundrum in the sense that he's a very rich person, billionaire, but he's also for the people. Dogecoin, crypto, like, he was coming up, he was trying to fight for the people when it came to that whole Robin Hood thing. So, like, yeah, he's smoking weed with Joe Rogan on the podcast. So I think most people feel like, I think he might have done some stuff with the trans community too. He might have, or LGBT. I don't know.
Did something bad?
I think there was some controversy with that. I know him, and I think Azealia Banks has gone at him for some things. I don't know what. Yeah. But there's some. He's definitely in the culture, and he's not afraid to speak. Like, he has opinions that I think may be on the opposite side of super far left people.
Okay. I think that this leads to a conversation about what is the problem with the things you don't like. Okay. So first of all, someone tell me, what is capitalism? Someone tell me.
It's a system in which economic system in which you are paid for certain services, and the market defines what those services you can get for those goods, I guess.
Okay.
The market sets the value.
Okay. So capitalism is a political idea where the government is not the primary source for what is and what does. Okay. It is a system where private entities, the people of the country, can freely operate, own, and sell entities and assets. What that means is, should you find a problem, you privately, as an entity owner, can solve that problem, and you can charge for it. The prize for taking risks is called profit. A lot of people take risks. A lot of people fail. So there is a prize at the end of that journey. It's called profit. Inequality in wage is more fair under capitalism than the opposite of capitalism. Why? Because it dictates itself by number one, quality, and number two, service. So should you provide quality service, you will earn more profit. Everybody following me? So, with that being said, when we say Elon Musk is a capitalist, understandably so, if he is against bad fumes and things that is destroying the planet, he has found a solution to this problem in which the prize is profit. How many people are like Elon Musk?
He's one of one.
Very odd. If everybody was like that, everybody would be winning.
Yep.
But he is the one guy that found the solution. He's the one guy who's worth $1 bajillion and still sleeps in his office trying to find the next solution to the next problem.
Our world is better because Elon Musk exists.
So, if your big issue is he's a capitalist, you better be happy he's a capitalist.
Doesn't he have an accent?
He's not
He's
American.
from South Africa.
Yeah.
He's South African.
Yeah.
South African Canadian.
But is it a thick accent?
It's
It's
like
not thick.
it's noticeable.
Yeah.
It's noticeable.
It's
Yeah.
there, but he's also kind of a weird
It's not
guy,
like
too.
Trevor
That's
Noah's, but it's like
Trevor Noah definitely putting sauce on his accent. I'm from South Africa. Shut up.
Yeah, you got it, man. That was spot on.
that's exactly
South
what he
African.
sounds
No,
like.
that's it with his dumb
Shit.
haircut.
Wow.
Just kidding. I'm not. Anyway, so if your problem with Elon Musk is that he's rich, then go be rich. You know why? Because you have all of the ability to go own privately your own entity. Go figure it out. Okay? That's number one. Number two, if you don't like that he downplayed COVID, then don't listen to him. Is Saturday Night Live the spot for artists to perform who you agree with?
No.
Is that what it is now?
I thought it was to be entertaining.
It's about entertainment. Elon Musk is not only the CEO of a company, he's also a celebrity. Isn't SNL a place that builds celebrities?
Yeah.
And has celebrities host.
Right? So why are you so upset about Elon Musk coming onto the show?
But everybody is upset with pretty much every host
Everything.
that comes on.
And it
SNL.
goes back.
Is that true?
They got mad at Dave Chappelle for his opening monologue. They got mad
Bill
at Bill Burr twice for his opening monologue.
Why did they get upset with Dave Chappelle?
He said something about Trump.
He said give Trump a chance.
Oh.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
Dave Chappelle came back and said that he
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
tweaking
But
about
this
it.
But
is
that's
a
what I'm
little
saying.
bit different, right? Because those guys that came on, that was what they said on the show that they got backlash for. Nobody was saying Dave Chappelle shouldn't host. Nobody was saying Bill Burr shouldn't host. None of the cast members were like, I'm triggered by this person being on the show, right?
It's
This
because they
is-
play that part already. They're already entertainers.
right.
Yes.
But for some reason, when it comes to Elon Musk, SNL had to come out and say that they are like, if these cast members do not or feel triggered, or they have this safe space where they don't have to perform on the show for that episode.
I don't understand, but it's honestly, is he the worst of the worst?
No, Donald Trump has been on SNL.
Yeah.
And I don't, regardless of what it is, I think it's more the precedent that's being set is a really bad one. And it goes back to, I think, the same thing that we were talking about with Joe Budden podcast. It's the entitlement of the employee. Because at a certain point, if the employee feels like, hey, I don't want to do this, Like, one of the things that Joe Budden told those guys is, at what other job can you just leave for 6 weeks, come back, and everything's okay? Mm-hmm. But we're creating these environments where the employees are being entitled. And to a certain extent, I think there's good to that. But your job on SNL is to make people laugh and to entertain. Mm-hmm. Are you saying that Elon Musk will impede your ability to perform? Why? Like, why now what it makes me believe is these people on SNL aren't true comedians or aren't true performers because
they're activists.
Okay. Well,
Keenan gonna be on the episode.
Is he really?
I don't know, but
probably. Keenan's show got a season 2 renewal?
Hell yeah, that show's great.
No, it's not.
I've never seen an episode. I haven't even seen a trailer.
It's trash. It's trash.
How many episodes are there right now?
Hey, but he got that
enough to fit into the trash.
That Black King got a second season.
Yeah, congratulations. But come on. So either way, back to Elon on this show. I don't really see the big deal, and I also don't. It's not like Elon is Gaddafi. He's not killing people. Okay, Elon Musk is what some people consider to be our Tony Starks.
All right.
So what is the big deal? Is it because you're upset that billionaires should not exist? Get over it.
Because I'm pretty sure the owner of NBC is probably a billionaire too.
I don't know who the owner of NBC is because they've been around for so long. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you've had many, many, many powerful figures come onto SNL.
Lorne Michaels probably got a bag.
Lorne Michaels is extremely rich.
Yeah.
But he's also the guy in the position that gives other people work. So, of course, you're going to kiss the butt of the man who gives you the spoon so you can eat.
Lauren probably said, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to, from his jacuzzi.
From his private
And you
flying
know what's
boat.
sad is Elon's been tweeting about this episode, and dude, what he's tweeting is hilarious. He's asking people for skits, and some of the stuff he's come up with is hilarious.
I would love to see
instead
it.
of Iron Man, he said Irony Man.
I've seen that.
So that he kills people with irony. he said Shark Tank infused with Baby Shark makes Baby Shark Tank. So it's like babies that are doing Shark Tank. I'm like, dude, he's funny. And he's funny and he's a nerd. It's like the perfect combination. And I feel like it could be an amazing episode, but it's like this cloud of just political activism and wokeness and social justice. It's like,
but what are you activizing? What is it?
There's this big view. I think it's the same stuff that people try to come at for the UFC and all this type of stuff. These people that are going against what Fauci and the science say. And that's a big thing that Elon Musk has done. He obviously stood up to Newsom when it came to his factory and keeping it open. Mm-hmm. He moved, his headquarters to Texas because of, the regulations in California. Yeah. He's come out and debated the supposed facts and that people were saying about COVID and said, you guys are reading the data wrong, and basically saying, I don't think he ever said, he just downplayed it. He said, we shouldn't be as fearful as they're trying to tell us.
Look, I completely understand the COVID point, but at the same time, I don't necessarily feel I don't think that people should feel as if someone is evil because they have a different perspective than you have. And I will respect someone who is, deathly scared of COVID. And I will also respect someone who says it's not that big of a deal.
Well, welcome to 2021, my friend.
Well, good luck to Elon Musk. I think
it's going to be a great show.
I'm sure it will. I will not watch it.
Well, I don't have TV. So.
I think it has a chance to be a great show. We'll see if the whole politics side of it doesn't ruin what could be a great moment in SNL.
This is true. It probably will. It'll probably the announcement will be this is the lowest viewed SNL since John Mulaney.
And hey, props to Elon for not budging. He's not
Why would
like
he?
he's not saying
He
okay.
doesn't care.
That's what is great about it. It's like that,
I'm
and that's
rich
why
enough
he
to
is
buy
who he
you.
is. Yeah, he's like, you know what? I could just create my own SNL.
Yeah. Yeah. He has enough money to go start his own network. And
Right.
just, so it's like the anger that people have, like, get a job.
Yeah, kind of.
Get a job.
Pick your battles, man.
Just go find something to do with your time. It's just silly.
Virtue signaling is what's killing America, man. Because that's all it is virtue signaling.
What you saying, man?
We just said, like, they're not upset about their Lauren Michaels, who's a billionaire or close to a billionaire. They're upset about, Elon Musk making the money because Elon Musk doesn't have the same viewpoints as them.
Yeah, but I'm upset that Keenan got a second season.
That's the take home here.
Yo.
Why they do that to him?
Hey, have you seen Kelby's selective outcry when it comes to defaming a black king? If it's done by him, it's okay. But if it's done by anybody else,
Shots fired.
I could do whatever I want.
exactly. Black privilege, baby.
That doesn't exist. All right, what's next?
The last thing that I had on my list was, did you see?
Michael B. Jordan?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
There was a TMZ did an interview or like one of those like street, when they go run up to somebody on the street and ask them a question.
Mm-hmm.
So they found Caitlyn Jenner.
My guy.
That
My girl.
Yeah, choose your words wisely.
that's
Sorry.
hate language.
So
That's
my girl.
So anyway, she was getting into her car and they asked her about running for governor, I think. And then the question was how, like, basically getting her opinion on whether or not she believes trans people should be able to compete in sports at a high school and collegiate level as their transgender versus their biological gender. And she has come out and said that she doesn't believe that trans athletes should be able to compete in other than with their biological gender.
Okay. I'm going to say this. Caitlyn Jenner is a person that is controversial, but I think that she is a person that sees the world with incredible sense. And I respect her a lot.
And I think she has a very educated view on this.
Yes.
Because, in her previous life, she was an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
So I think she understands the difference of her, what her body is capable of, being born a man and, transitioning to now, being a female. I think she understands. Trans woman. Yeah. I think she understands more than most. Like, I think she actually can give probably one of the most educated opinions as far as whether or not it'd be fair or not.
So I've listened to what she's had to say over the years about a few different topics, and I think that she comes with a lot of sense. And I think that the difficult thing about being a part of a certain community, you tend to see things with those shades on.
Groupthink.
Right? Yeah, like as a black person, naturally, I will think similarly about many things as other black people will think. But it really kind of takes somebody special to just sometimes just be like, whoa, wait a second. Let me look at this from a position that is outside of where I stand. So in this situation, Caitlyn Jenner said that she thinks that it's not fair that a person who has transitioned play amongst the people that they finish it for me.
She thinks that you need to be competing how you were biologically born.
Okay.
And that in her mind, it's it's an issue about protecting women's sports.
Which I understand. I can get that perspective, because here's the thing. You told me, I don't know enough about this subject, but you told me that there have been trans athletes, male to female, who have competed against I believe the word is cis women. Could that be correct?
Yes, that's
okay,
correct.
Cisgendered women, and they have blown them out of the water
Yes.
across many sports.
Namely track and field, weightlifting. Not track and field. Yeah, track and field,
Yeah.
weightlifting, and like whatever bicycle.
Okay. So
Tour de France.
there has to be that element of making sure that things are opportunities are fair. Outcome may not be fair, but opportunity should be fair.
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, even in male dominated sports such as boxing, they are categorized by weight, because it's like, hey, if you are too big, you can't fight this guy who's way smaller than you. It's not fair. The opportunity is not fair. In football, they're not going to put a 140-pound woman to play with 300-pound men. It's not fair. So if Caitlyn Jenner says this point, I will have to agree, because in general, more often than not, that means 51% of the time, even if a person has transitioned and they take their hormone pills and hormone blockers and they have completely transitioned, there are a few things in them that, yes, that give them that advantage against a cisgendered woman. Now, I don't want to be the person that says, well, you can't play against people. And having a league for trans people could be very difficult, mainly because maybe there's not enough people to create their own league. So now we have this problem. How do we create opportunity for everybody, where opportunity is fair across the board? That's the problem to me. It's not so much can they play in this league or not. To me, it's how do we make it fair for everyone? Because I know if I was a cisgendered woman, I would feel a certain kind of way getting into a sports debacle with someone who has just an advantage over me, and there's nothing I can do to beat them. I can't train harder. I can't do anything, because they were born better or faster or stronger than I am.
And I think where most people that come out against that is in saying, you know, what Caitlyn Jenner said is basically acknowledging that trans women aren't the same as women.
But I think a trans person will tell you that they are not trying to be a cisgendered woman. That's not what they are. They are trans woman.
And that's where I don't know, because I know there's this cultural debate right now of what is gender, and gender is fluid, and your gender is a social construct, and a trans woman is a woman, and that there's no difference between a trans woman and a regular woman. And I can tell you this because I watched when Candace Owens was interviewed Marcus Lamont Hill.
What you watching that stuff for?
Because I like learning. And it's two black people.
Okay.
So I'm trying to learn about your culture, my dude.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I know about your black teachers you like.
Anyway, so Candace asks, can a man give birth?
Mm-hmm. I saw this.
And he said yes.
I saw this.
And because a trans man, so a woman who transitioned to be a man, still has the female parts to have children.
Yeah.
So, but that is a man that's having a kid.
Let me actually say something about that. I think that the difficult thing about trans people is they don't have enough trans people speaking for their community. Marcus Lamont Hill is not a trans person, and he is just going to say whatever sounds right. But the point that I'm bringing to you is directly from the trans people that I know and have explained the same thing. Flame Monroe, the two ladies that we spoke to on a different podcast, they explained to me, and it shed information upon me, that they are not trying to be cisgendered women. That's not what they are. They are trans women. There's a term for it. That's what they are. It is not for them to try and trick you to say, hey, I'm a cisgendered woman. They are not that. So I think that Marcus Lamont Hill in that interview was doing his best to try and make sure nobody gets upset with him. But if we're having that conversation purely and honestly, no, a man, just the term man, cannot have a child. However, a trans man can. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
So I think if you come to it with that viewpoint and you're saying, okay, let's just be honest and clear with our words and what we're saying, then yes, fine. So it goes back to my idea of opportunity in the
Quality of opportunity.
quality of opportunity. A trans person at this moment has nowhere to go. There's not enough trans people to create a trans league. There's not. It's tough for men, trans women to compete with women. It's tough for a trans man to compete with cis men. It's like, what do we do about this? Nobody has a real solution at the moment.
Well, the problem is,
And we don't want to exclude anybody.
the problem is it's only affecting one way. There's not this whole calling of trans men that are feeling like they're being let out of being able to play sports with other men.
There is, say it again?
So there's not a whole bunch of trans men that are saying the NBA won't let me in, because the problem is trans men aren't good enough to get into the NBA, right? There's not a whole bunch of trans men that are saying,
Well, no, I think you should change that. It's not necessarily that they're not good enough to be in the NBA. They are not putting themselves in a position to be in the NBA.
there's not a trans man that's good enough to be in the NBA yet that has come out and that could actually be in the NBA that's saying the NBA is not letting me in because I'm a trans
Well,
man.
let me ask you, how many have tried?
None to my knowledge.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. They are not putting themselves in a position
I'm not
to,
saying they never can be. I'm saying there's not a trans person at this point
yes.
that is good enough to be in the NBA to have this argument
No,
yet.
I totally understand what you're saying.
So-
I'm just saying it's not that they're not good enough. It's that we haven't seen somebody put their effort in to go
Right.
do that.
Right.
Okay, got you. So you're saying that the real issue is male to female.
Correct, because there's already been instances where that has happened, because and it has turned out to where, like, for example, I think out in Maine or one of those northeast states, Massachusetts, I think it is, there was a trans female who used to run as a male before they transitioned and wasn't very competitive. Then transitioned, became, a female, and is waxing people. And because of that, the issue now becomes that cisgendered women are now losing scholarships, losing their ability to because she ended up getting a scholarship to university, all this kind of stuff. And
The trans person?
and that obviously took a spot from a cisgender woman who, doesn't feel they're on the same playing field because they were born with different abilities.
That's kind of like the same thing that people say about affirmative action. I don't necessarily think it took a spot away, only because if we are looking to transition our society into one that is truly inclusive, then the spot for them has to exist anyway.
But it took a spot away if you don't believe that it took a spot away if you don't believe that a trans woman should be competing against cis women.
Again, that's the dilemma. That's the dilemma. How do we make sure that this is totally fair for everyone? I don't know. I don't know but I do respect, back to Caitlyn Jenner. I respect her viewpoint on this, because not only was she an athlete, she is also a trans person. So I respect it, and I think that it comes with clear, deep thought about things. And I do recognize that the family is not a huge fan of her running for governor and for her position, which I don't necessarily think it's because they don't like they don't think that she's qualified for the job. I think it's just, they just don't like her point of view on things.
Yeah, and she's running as a Republican, which is like, I guess, kind of like counterintuitive when it comes to the culture.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think
but it doesn't make sense, because Kim did a lot of work with Donald Trump. A lot.
Right.
So I think that it's just one of the dilemmas that we're in. But at the same time, like, how many people from the trans community are playing in sports? How many people? How big is this issue? Like, how ginormous is this issue? Well,
I think that's where things are changing, because it's not about how many people it affects. Now issues are becoming bigger, even if it affects a small percentage. Because if you think about most of the things that are big deals now, it's not because it affects a huge portion of anything. It's because it affects even one person, and if it's unjust, then it becomes a situation.
I mean, it's true. Everybody's opinion, everybody's experience matters. The tough thing is, there's always going to be 40% of people who just have it rough. It just is. It is impossible to satisfy everyone. So I think that we just have to keep this in mind and do the best that we can to make sure that things are fair. We definitely don't want our women in a position where they cannot compete. They cannot overcome obstacles because they just were not born a certain way, and I do think that that's important. It's an important issue to try and overcome. But I don't want to leave a community out of sports or whatever it is. It's rough. I don't know what the answer is. It's so like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a very tough choice, I guess, or a tough solution. I think it's just, I get upset with people that try to act like there's no difference.
There's a difference,
because I started watching mixed relays in track and field. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to do this, and I think it's going to be in the Olympics whenever the Olympics happen. And they do like a 4x400 mixed relay. And there's a huge difference between the men's time and the women's time. Mm-hmm. And it's not close. So to act like, and this is the best women that are there and the mm-hmm. best men that are there. Mm-hmm. So these are all Olympic athletes, and there's not one woman who's running faster than, the men. So I just think that, we got to be realistic with it. We got to also be empathetic and sympathetic. And, unfortunately, when these topics do get discussed on a national platform, they're driven by emotion versus logic. And, it's not really about solutions. It's about, once again, virtue signaling, and virtue signaling doesn't create solutions. It just creates more divisiveness, and the solution ends up getting lost.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't play sports. y'all can have my spot. You can have my spot. Oh man, what a mess. I don't know. I don't think I've ever not known something more than right now.
Have you so you say you have a lot of trans friends?
I have a few trans friends, yeah.
Have you ever dated somebody who's trans?
I haven't dated somebody who is trans. However, one time I went on an outing.
What kind of outing?
It was like an internet match.
Like Tinder swipe? Was it Tinder? Was this Jivan Sati?
I mean, all right. Yo, don't play with you. Don't play with.
Was this Bumble Friends?
Don't play with Javon. I like Javon Sa. That's a good website right there. So I swiped. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And the thing is, on those swipeable apps, you don't really pay attention to what you swiping.
That's a lie.
I don't.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like, okay, when I started getting on them in 2013, I realized that I would have a problem. I would be like, oh man, I really hope this person swipes back and likes me and all this stuff. And then you swipe and you get that instant like, damn, they hate me. They didn't even swipe back on me, right?
Maybe you don't pay attention to the swipe, but you definitely pay attention when you start texting.
Yeah. So I got into a match, like I matched with somebody.
Uh-huh.
And, we had a conversation and I was like, okay, this is a cool person. It's not really my type per se.
Why wasn't it your type? Or she your type, I should say.
I just think like I wasn't super attracted.
Okay.
But I was like, this is a pretty person. Like, maybe I should not be so picky. That's the thing that a lot of my friends tell me too. Like, stop being so picky, So I was just like, let me just talk to her, and I talked and it was cool actually. And I went to the location that, we decided that we was going to meet up at. And then homegirl drove up to the spot.
What was your first impression?
I said, damn, that's a little Hyundai.
That ain't the Elantra.
That's a crooked Ace for real. Two-door? So then she stepped out of the car, and that's when I said, yo, that car is real small, because she was 6'3".
Whoa. So she's taller than you.
By 3 inches.
Wow.
And so she came out of the car. I was like, oh, snap. And
did you know she was that tall from Twitter?
Yes, I do. I knew she was tall, but I didn't know she was 6'3".
Okay.
All right. So she told me like I'm 6'3". She said, I'm tall. Are you going to have an issue with that? And she asked me how tall I was. I said, I'm 5'11", 6 foot on a good day. And she said, are you going to be weird if I'm taller than you? And I was like, man, I don't care. And so that happened. So homegirl came out of the car. I head to the sky. Top of her hair touched the palm trees. You know what I mean? Big, tall.
Avatar?
Lamar Odom.
Ooh, you was feeling like Aaron Carter? I got candy.
So, when tall people walk past the sun, it's an eclipse.
Oh,
so you walk past, I was like, hello. And then I noticed something. This is not to make fun of her, but I noticed she had a 5 o'clock shadow. And I was just like, oh, I think I'm in a specific thing here right now. And I couldn't, yeah. So anyway, we went in, we got our meal, we chatted it up, didn't ask me a single question about me, not one. So then I said, well, this person's rude.
Well, hold up. We can't just be breezing through this date real quick.
Wasn't a date.
What was the conversation?
I'm going to tell you. So the conversation was about their family life, what they wanted to do. It was all about what they wanted to do in school. I was asking all types of questions, but I was being real strategic with the way I was asking. I was like, if you got like a big secret and you got to tell somebody, like, what would that secret be?
You dumb as hell. Continue.
That's the worst strategy I've ever heard.
And I was just like, if you got something like you really feel like you got to tell somebody like in this kind of setting, like what would it be? And she would be like, well, I love podcasts. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Okay.
Oh my god. So, are you trying to say that she's trans?
All right, so I was trying to figure it out.
So you weren't sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
All these years later, I'm not sure. I don't know. But the signs were there. It was like somebody who was still in the process, because maybe they didn't have the laser hair removal, process yet. The voice was a little still, deep. Like the conversation I had with the two trans ladies last week or 2 weeks ago, that I guess that there's a process that they go through where they're like, okay, when we're doing the transitioning, we kind of lay low, and then we pop back out, and it's like, okay, but so I kind of felt like I was in a situation with somebody who was just like, I ain't laying low for nobody, so I felt a little bit weird because I feel like you would tell me, like if we're in this thing and we met for romantic reasons, purposes, you would tell me. But that's when the confusion started happening, because an hour later you still didn't tell me. So then I was like, well, shoot, maybe it's a cisgendered woman, and I'm just like, maybe she's just built different. So I don't know. That's why I still say to this day, I really don't know, but she had everything that, the average fella would have. Even to the point when she went to the bathroom, my ears perked up. I was like, man, how does the pee gonna hit the water?
You went
close for you to the bathroom.
You went into the bathroom?
No, didn't go into the bathroom. But I tried to hear, because it was like a close space. So I was just trying to hear, like, is it gonna hit the water the way? Gonna hit the water the way that a guy would hit the water?
No. If you on a date
Yes.
and you gotta listen to somebody pee, that's a red flag. Like, you the creepy one.
Yo, you are the creepy one.
There's something wrong with you.
Yes, but I was trying to figure it out. I was like, if you're not gonna tell me, somebody, like, I gotta find out some way, because you're not gonna tell me, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be like, have you ever asked a woman if she, like, when the baby's due and she's not pregnant? I felt like I was in that situation where I was like, I don't want to say, like, are you a trans? And then they, like, get upset, or I don't know. I didn't want to do the wrong thing. So I was just trying to be as polite as possible, as kind as possible, not single anybody out, but I still wanted to know. So when the pee hit the water, I was like, this sounds like unisexual pee.
Unisexual?
Yeah, like, you know how a guy
pee could be gender specific.
Nah, it can, because a guy, like, into the water. And then ladies have like that nice soft, like, twinkle, so that's what I thought. But then it was like,
I don't think that's right.
I don't know.
I don't think that's right at all.
Sunil, you asked.
No, I didn't.
I was just trying to find out, but it sounded like just regular pee, and it was a unisex bathroom.
You keep saying regular pee.
Yeah,
it's not a thing.
I don't know.
Oh man! So what happened on the second date?
There was no second date, but you know what though?
You know there was a second date.
There was no second date, but she was so nice, because she was like, at first she was like, do you not like me or something? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm just not attracted to you, and I'm just, And she was like, oh, I really appreciate, you being kind about this and all this stuff. And then she later wrote me and was just like, yo, I was really trying to, like, push up on you and all this stuff, and I recognize that that's wrong. And if you had done that to me, it would not have been okay. And my actions were bad. And I appreciate you, like, just treating me with kindness, even though most of this thing was just awkward. But you did not make it awkward.
Look at Kelly trying to make himself look good in this situation.
No, but I mean,
all this stuff could be made up.
And at the end of the message,
I
she
don't believe none
said,
of
also, I saw you trying to watch me pee. So.
I didn't try to.
You did.
I didn't try to watch her pee.
You did, and you've done it multiple times, because you're over here trying to be like, when I hear a woman pee, it sounds like this, and when I hear a man pee, so that means you just be listening to people pee.
That's just what I figured. I'd be watching TV and the woman just be like,
oh yeah, I've been watching TV.
Nah, that's wrong.
Yo, you nasty.
I don't know, but I was just trying to figure it out.
Kelby's nasty, yo.
What's nasty about that?
You
Listen to somebody
like
pee,
listening
Kelby.
Me doing it?
You going out of your way at a restaurant to
That's
follow this
1000%
person
true.
to the bathroom to
I
hear her
didn't follow
pee.
them to the bathroom. It was a small location.
Right.
She went to the bathroom. I could hear it, but I turned my other senses off. I kept
Ain't no way you could be in a restaurant and hear somebody pee as well.
It was not. It was. Trust me. It was a small little
I don't
restaurant.
trust you on this one.
And it was a unisex bathroom.
Oh, here we
and
go.
I just said, well, let me go ahead and just perk my ears up, real quick, see if
Right
it
on,
hits
right
the
on.
water
Yo,
extra hard.
You are digging.
All right.
Keep digging that hole that you digging in right
listen,
now.
man, the people gonna be on my side.
Yeah,
The champion
right.
is here.
So at the end of the message, did you ask her
Ask her what? No,
the
no.
question that you
Please
wanted
don't tell her.
answered?
No, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask. It's not like I said. I wanted to approach it with just. I didn't want to be disrespectful. I didn't want to say the wrong thing, but at the same time, I did want to find out.
Do you think it's disrespectful that if she is a trans woman, that she didn't tell you up front?
Yeah, I think so.
I
I think
agree.
I think you have to give people the opportunity to know what they're getting themselves into.
Not that it's bad or anything. It's just preference, right? It's just like,
Not even just preference or what you identify as and all that kind of stuff. Like, just like somebody doesn't want to be in a situation to find out it's something else later on, it makes people feel uncomfortable. It's about trust. If you are coming into this as a person who likes me and I like you, let's build this foundation on trust.
Sure.
And I wouldn't want to feel tricked. I wouldn't want to feel like you withheld information just so that you could try to get me or whatever. Like, so many things could pass through your brain about what the situation is. So if you are not ashamed of who you are and if you really believe in what situation you've gone through, then yeah, I will be upfront and honest, because the honest truth is, there are plenty of women who have told me like, yo, I don't talk to black guys, and I don't take it a certain kind of way to say like, oh my gosh, you're racist. I just say, oh, okay, got it. Like, in your world, you don't talk to black guys, and it gives me the opportunity to just keep it pushing.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't choose to be black, and the person did not choose to be trans. So just being upfront and honest with people, I think is the best thing that you can do, especially if you're putting yourself into a position with people who are, you're looking for love or you're looking for a connection, something like that. So yeah,
I agree. I mean, I think it's just the same. Like, if I had a kid, I would assume, or if I'm meeting somebody or we're on a date and she has a kid, I think that's information that needs to be said, because that's stuff that you need to know. Okay, maybe there's another baby daddy in the situation, or like, obviously your movements are going to be different if you have a kid. Like, you're not going to be as free as maybe a single person. Like, it's just all that information is necessary if it's going to be like something that can move forward into something. So
it's true though, because there was a guy at the gym who told me one day he was like fighting with his girlfriend, and he went a year without telling her that he has a child, but the child is an adult. So in his eyes, he was like, man, my kid's 19, like it's whatever. And she was like, how could you go a year without telling me you have a child? And never bringing it up, never speaking about it. And he was telling me like, right? Like, she's tripping, right? She's tripping. It's my child. And I was just like, bro, the thing is, if you're building a relationship with somebody, it's about trust. And it's about, being open and honest. And so if you have something as hugely life-changing as a child, and you're hiding that child, or you don't want to say something about, you don't want to say you have a child, clearly you're hiding something. You could be hiding much more. Yeah. So her brain is immediately going to go to like, next, like he must be hiding he must be hiding money, or he must be hiding something.
I know how this dude would answer if he's holding her down. hell no, he ain't holding nobody down.
You know what I'm saying? So he looked at me. He was like, "Why would you agree with her?" I was like, "It's not that I'm agreeing with her, but it's just weird. Like, why would you go a year dating someone, a year of intimate moments, talking deeply about yourself and what you want out of life, and just be like, oh, I'm not gonna mention I have a child."
Yeah. What you doing this weekend? I'm hanging out with my cousin. What?
And the girl, he was telling me that she was like, "You had so many opportunities to tell me that you had a child because she had a child."
After a year,
yo, this dude.
how are you not gonna go meet your significant other's family?
So
I mean, that happens.
So what he told me was him
happens.
and his son had an argument. When the kid turned 18, he went to college, and there was some kind of financial beef about like paying for the school and whatever. He said he was going to pay for the school. The dad paid for it, but then the son did something, and it ended up being like more than the dad said he was going to do. So they had this big blowout, and he essentially deleted the kid from his like life.
Is your friend 50 Cent?
No. But he's built like 50 Cent pretty much. But he, in his mind, he was just like, I wasn't thinking about my son we had beef, you know? But at the end of the day, it's like, so?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't think that's the only thing your friend's probably lying to her about.
But that's the point. You know, that's the point about this whole conversation is, if you are pursuing me, now let's say like we just friends. Like one of my friends, I promise you, I had no clue 3 years into our friendship that she was trans. I had zero clue.
What?
No clue. She never said anything about it. She never spoke about it. Nothing, ever. It wasn't until I saw her on TV. And she was playing trans roles like over and over and over. And I was like, what? Why are you like playing this one role? It's kind of weird that you're just playing this one role. And then she shared an article that was like the next like trans actors in Hollywood. And I was like, oh, snap. Right? But like we're friends. And I understand if that's not something that you just tell people. You know what I mean? Like I get it. But if we are building this relationship off of like, you know, we might be dating, we might
intimate,
yeah, you know, all these things. Like tell me, you know, right up front, and then that way I could make the decision to say like, oh, you know what, I'm so sorry, but you know, this is not this is not okay with me, but we can still remain friends. It's not that I don't, you know, whatever, but you know, it's just not how I swing. But if you remove the opportunity from people to make their own decisions, then, you know, then it leads to so many bad things. So it's just scary. Yeah. So there's that. All right. Chris,
Talk to me.
did you start your new gig?
I start tomorrow.
You have to go to the office?
I have to go to a print shop in my old neighborhood. I guess the first day is
In Salina?
in what?
What's the name of the city?
In Echo Park.
Echo Park.
Well, it's at Water Village, just down the street. But I guess your first day at the company, they bring you to a print shop and they just have you tour it and stuff like that. I don't have to bring anything, so I'm just gonna go walk a print shop.
Excited?
Yeah, man, it's gonna be really cool just figuring stuff out that I already know how to do, pretty much, versus having to go do paperwork and file stuff. And
Oh, it's not going to be a whole bunch of paperwork?
I'm the media department, pretty much, so it's just video and editing.
Damn. You have to use your own stuff?
Oh, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because he has equipment. I actually found out I'm the first employee from Los Angeles. They're all based out of Chicago.
Oh, no. I've been trying to go to Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to live in
I'd love
Chicago.
to go there. It's dope.
So, the winters are terrible, but the summertime is really cool because they you know, the winters are so terrible, so they really maximize their summertime, and they have like mad food festivals. Like the city puts on a lot of stuff for free for the community, and so like
cool.
there's just a lot of good vibes. There's a lot of great food there. You know, a lot of, you know, you can do a lot. Like you can go to the city and do a lot of stuff and never be bored type of stuff. So yeah,
I want to go. That'd be down. Oh yeah. So the world is opening back up, and I saw the other night that Tekashi performed at a festival in Florida with 15,000 people. 15,000 people. Just to think, 4 months ago, it was like,
Don't breathe.
yeah.
I mean, yo, Tekashi. Does that mean Tekashi's all the way back?
Well, he was at a festival.
So he was just on the.
Yeah, but the fact that he's still getting actual like
Yeah, I mean, the people were there.
invite.
The people there, and he did get invited.
Yeah.
So I personally think that, yeah, he's back. Like, how could he not be? You know, I don't think people have a real big issue with the snitch thing, to be honest. I don't care. Like, it has nothing to do with me. So,
Right.
you know, but my whole thing was more like, when I look at the clip, am I looking at COVID in the face with this many people?
I don't think so. I mean, the UFC the weekend before put on an event with 50,000 people.
1-5 or 5-0?
1-5.
Damn, Florida don't care at all.
Yeah, Jacksonville,
But it's not that
no
I
masks.
I honestly feel like it's not that they don't care. I just think that they're like, yo, let's just power through.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, they take precautions. Like, they obviously it's not just the same way you'd come in. Even at the festival, I'm assuming, you know, it's just not you walk in. I'm sure they're doing some kind of testing with temperatures and, you know, like, at the end of the day, it's a lot about self accountability and holding. Like, if you're feeling sick, if you have symptoms, like, you know, stay home. Like,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean, Florida's been doing this for a long time, and I don't know how their numbers are. I'm not doing the research and all that kind of stuff,
It's
but
down.
yeah, I don't think it's very high. I think they've done a lot better, and
I'm really looking forward to watching Hamilton this year on July 4th.
That's what's up.
I told y'all, that's what I did last year with the dog.
Yeah.
It was lit out here.
yo, that's surprising that the dogs weren't scared of the fireworks.
No, they was just like, yo, man, we've been cooped up in the house a couple months, man.
We know how it is.
Let's go outside. Chris, did you used to go to those July 4th parties with me? Oh, I think that might have been before your time.
No, I don't think so.
There was this girl, Kristen. She used to throw the greatest July 4th parties in LA. And then now they're all like married or whatever. But you know, when they were all single, it was great. You know, it's like flashbacks just be coming back, and people.
What makes a great July 4th party?
Well, they had great food.
That's number one.
Barbecue?
Barbecue, and I'm not a huge barbecue fan because I feel like people either they burn it or they don't know how to season the food, so it just tastes like. But
Oh, so they're not using frozen patties and hot dogs and
nah.
stuff.
They go out there, they kill the cow right there in the moon. So Kristen would have these guys who would come, and it was always like the best networking too, because it would be like she was in the industry, you know, so the people would come would be like a Chinese Oscar winner or something like that, and you would just be like, damn, like. Every single time, it was just great vibes. They had DJs. They had like the little bubble things, like bubbles flying all over the place. People running around, squirting each other. Like, it was a vibe. You know, you go out there. They play the right music. It was. She used to have like the right type of fans, so you were never that hot. You know, it was just like, yeah, this is it. And people still are like, yo, you gonna throw the July 4th party? And she's just like, bro, I have kids. You know, right. I don't know if Kristen has kids or whatever, but the people that she used to throw the party with, they're all adults now.
Right.
So, you know, they don't be doing none of that stuff anymore. But I'm hoping that this year in LA, like, something goes down and we just have a good crazy time. That's what I'm hoping for.
We need a good old fashioned hydrant pop.
What you saying? What is it?
Hydrant.
Hydrant pop.
Yo, did you know that there was like a big old hydrant pop, I guess, right down the street from
Really?
here? Yeah, like the LAFD, they were just spraying the water everywhere. There was no fire, nothing. Dogs were running in it and stuff.
That's what we need, man.
All that stuff. Yeah, they were just out there.
It's
Just,
not.
Summer's coming.
It's not summer if it's not a
Summer's
hydrant pop.
coming.
yeah. That's like big New York vibes.
Facts.
You know? Yeah. All right, let's close it out. What y'all looking forward to this week?
New job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything like super exciting, but just blessed to have another week, man. Make another paycheck.
There you go. There you go. Well, I'm excited about hopefully making some more money.
That's facts.
I'm on a getting out of debt thing, and I'm doing it in large chunks.
You should.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just like, how can I get out of debt super, super quickly? And it's happening, and I would like to get to that point like that. Like by the end of the year, there's a couple of things I want completely paid off. So that I go into next year, student loans, because learning Shakespeare is surprisingly expensive. Surprisingly, like more expensive than you can even imagine. And Shakespeare was like, he dope, but like he's not Jay. Oh, I forgot. DJ Khaled dropped an album. Y'all listen to it?
No.
Nah.
It's trash anyway. All right.
That was a fast conversation. Done with that.
Nah, they had a couple songs on there that I like. Body in Motion.
Oh, you were saying Her is all over it.
Her has a couple albums. She has a song with the Migos. It's cool, but
You gotta check it out.
yeah, you love her.
I love her. She's great.
I never seen her eyes.
It's a mystery.
That's about it. Michael B. Jordan put out a new movie. I watched half of it at the barbershop.
I know.
For sure. All right, that's about it. We are the Men on the Internet. You can find us on the Instagram, MOI Podcast, Moi Podcast, on Instagram. There you go. You got to put a little bit on there. A little en français. Okay, and then you can please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're going to say more inappropriate things. If you have things that you want to say to us, don't hold back. Get into the comment section and let us know how you feel. That way, Sunil and I can cuss you out the week after.
Hey.
Until next week. Men on the Internet podcast. Find us on every podcasting app every Tuesday. Full episodes on YouTube every Thursday and clips on YouTube throughout the week.